Hi, everyone. I'm Denise Lee, and I want to welcome you on behalf of the Dallas Children's Theater to Youth Chats for Social Justice. In a minute, I'm going to introduce you to an incredible group of young people, our social justice ambassadors, if you will, and we're going to have conversations that are important to all of us. Right now, before we start, I want to introduce you to a couple of people who have helped to make sure that this program takes place. I want to let me give you a few housekeeping things first. I want to let you know that this conversation will involve everyone. At the bottom of your screen, you'll see a question and answer box. If you have a question that you'd like to ask after we've watched the play or at any point, feel free to put it in that box, and those questions will be placed in there anonymously. And hopefully we will get to those during the panel discussion and the question and answer period, a little bit after we have watched the play. So I hope that you will participate by just throwing whatever questions you have out there and allowing us to share in that with you and talk to you about it. Now, right now, I'd like to introduce you to a couple of people who are very special to us here at DCT. I'm pleased to introduce to you Dallas Children's Theater's co-chairs for our social justice initiatives. Both are longtime DCT board members. And right now we have Mar Howard and Stephanie Jeffrey. Mar, how about you kick it off for us?
Good evening. It's a pleasure to be here with you this evening. I am Mar Howard, the co-chair of the Social Justice Initiative Project with the Dallas Children's Theater. Dallas Children's Theater has been a pillar in this community for more than 30 years as a safe space for our children to grow and learn. So it should be of no surprise that they are working hard to build a better tomorrow with this Social Justice Initiative Project. It's been an honor to work with impactful leaders of change like our very own senior social justice strategist, Denise Lee, Pastor Payton Parker, our own Robin Flatt, as well as my co-chair, Stephanie Jeffries. This project of passion would not be possible if it weren't for the genius of Idris Goodwin and his wonderful plays. These short plays are not only icebreakers, but tools to help us as adults and parents to explain the harsh realities of today's inequalities. More importantly, they are conversation starters to help people understand the conscious and unconscious biases that lead to many of the social injustices that we are continuing to combat in 2021. My wife and I sat with our daughters and we watched the Water Gun song. We intentionally kept quiet as they watched. We didn't want to sway them. We didn't want to influence them in any way. We wanted their raw and honest views of what it was they were watching. After it was over, we asked, "What'd you guys think?" My oldest, she took a look and she said, "You know what? It reminded me of the death of Tamir Rice." As many of you know, Tamir Rice was a 12-year-old Black boy killed in Cleveland, Ohio by a police officer while playing with a toy gun in the park back in 2014. You know what she said after that? It just broke my heart. She said that if this play had been available to the police officer, then maybe, just maybe, Tamir Rice would be alive today. Our youngest daughter asked, "Why is there such thing as race? You know, why is there race? Why do we use race?" Stating that if there were no such thing as race, there would be no racism, because she understands that there's only one race, the human race. These were the words of a 14 and a 10-year-old. In their short time on this earth, they have seen far too many people that look like them, that look like their mother and father on the news or in the media, that have been harmed, if not killed, due to a lack of humanity. As a Black man in this country, as a husband, as a father, I am completely invested in helping create a better future for our children. I believe that children are our future. I put everything I have into myself to make sure that I stay passionate and I stay very intentional in making this country a better place. There's no other way for me to do this than to work with children. I firmly believe that children are the greatest way to do so because they will be our leaders and they will one day lead the way. So it's my obligation to be a cog in the wheels of change to make this a more equitable society for all. Opportunities to listen to our youth express themselves like this, they don't come around every day. So I'm more than grateful to be a part of this experience and hope that this is the first of many youth chats here in the city of Dallas. As people who are part of the Dallas Children's Theater, we are here to aid and shape the young minds to be the change makers that our society needs. This is a great event. Wouldn't you agree, Stephanie?
Mar, I absolutely agree. Thank you so much for sharing that story with us of how you watched the amazing Water Gun song play with your daughters. You know, Dallas Children's Theater has long focused on what we call mission pieces. These are plays designed not to increase revenue for the theater, but rather to increase the amount of education and conversation that is happening for our patrons on the topics of diversity, inclusion, and equity. With all of our planned programming postponed last year due to COVID, Dallas Children's Theater quickly stepped in to seize the moment and create these digital offerings for free. I love that these plays are not only inclusive in topic, but they're also inclusive in accessibility. You don't have to even live in Dallas in order to watch these plays and benefit from the conversation and knowledge that they can provide. Our goal is for as many children as possible to see these wonderful pieces. And I think that we can all agree that our children will truly be our future. And this is the time in our history, just the latest critical time, for us to provide them with the education and conversation that they need to shape our future. We couldn't have made this broad reach and this event tonight possible without our partners. I'd like to say thank you to our lead partner, Visions for Change, Inc., and then several organization partners. I'm so thrilled that we've had such a groundswell of support from our Dallas partners, the AT&T Performing Arts Center, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority, Inc., Omicron Mu Omega Chapter, Boys and Girls Club of Collin County, Capital One, Dallas After School, Dallas Police Department, Faith Forward Dallas, First Unitarian Church of Dallas, First United Methodist Church of Lancaster, Girls Inc. of Metropolitan Dallas, Green Hills School, the Hockaday School, Lake Highlands Area Moms and More Against Racism, Legacy of Service Foundation, the Cache Youth Group, Project Unity, the Turner 12, and the United Way Dallas Women of Tocqueville Group. Thank you everyone for joining us for the next piece of our presentation. Denise, I'll let you take it away.
I appreciate that. Next, I want to introduce you to who the man is going to be my partner in crime tonight, and he helped me facilitate and moderate our conversation with the young people that you're going to meet in just a few minutes. I met Payton Parker as a youth minister at St. Luke Community United Methodist Church, and he's always displayed such incredible leadership and warmth. And so now he is the senior pastor at First United Methodist Church, Lancaster. Payton Parker, could you join me? And I'd love for you to share a few words, would you please?
Sure. Good evening, everyone. And as everyone has already said, we are excited about the conversation that will be going on tonight, and mostly because it won't be led by myself and Denise. We'll facilitate, but we have the opportunity to hear from young minds, young leaders who will be shaping our future. And so I'm just excited to be a part. As Denise said, I met her a little earlier in my journey of matriculation, and she has been a dear friend to me, has kept me honest, and has always encouraged me to continue to grow, not simply in ministry, but in this struggle for equality for all. So I'm just excited to be here tonight, and I look forward to what they're going to share with us.
Thank you so much, Payton. I appreciate that. How about we start with covering the project objectives? The Social Justice Youth Chat came about from some ideas that I know Robin Flatt had, and these are the, as a group, we got together and discussed and talked about these. Payton, I'll take the first one if you'll read the second one. The project objectives are to launch widespread dialogues about racism using Dallas Children's Theater's youth-focused plays as conversation starters.
Can you take the second one? I'm trying to pull it up.
Okay, I will get it. The second objective is to build a community of young people across the Metroplex who can become advocates and leaders in building trust, dialogue, friendship across neighborhoods. One of the things that, that's what we're launching here tonight with this group of ambassadors that we will have, and you'll meet them right after the play, is to bring a group of young people together to have conversations about things we normally as adults don't include them in. And this is a way that we can begin to include them in these conversations and help them to discover and learn more about it so they're better prepared to go out into the world. These plays given to us by Goodwin are wonderful ways to jump off and start the conversations with your young people. So right now, I think what we'd like to do is start with a question. We're going to have a polling question. The poll is, when should you talk to your children about race? And is it when they come to you with a question, as early as they can understand, when they have had a personal experience, or I don't know? There are no right or wrong answers. We're just trying to get a feel of what everybody thinks. So go ahead and take the poll. And if you have a different answer than that, feel free to throw it in the Q&A, or just to let us know that you think there's another suggestion to that. All right. All right, can we see, I hope if everybody has, yep, even if you're not parents, someone asked the question. If, let's say young people, what's an early age? All right, Steve, you'll probably know if everybody's participated. Why don't we throw the poll? All right. Overwhelmingly, 84% said as early as they can understand. Okay. Now we see where we all kind of fit on that. And I don't know, sometimes it's completely the acceptable answer. Payton, do you have an answer about that? I know you've worked with youth a lot of times at St. Luke and all around the community.
Yes, I did answer the question, and I answered with the majority, as young as they can understand.
Right. Okay, well, I tell you what, we are going to start with Water Gun Song. I am very proud of that. I co-produced this with the Dallas Children's Theater. It features a real mother and son team, and Esau's going to be with us as one of our ambassadors, and his mother, Gwina. We're in this, and it was directed by Jamal Sterling. And so I'm very proud of this piece because it is a piece that's geared toward younger children to help, again, start these conversations with parents in a way that doesn't make anyone uncomfortable. The play, if you have not seen it, is about 6 minutes long. So we're going to watch it in its entirety. And then when we come back, we're going to do another poll question, and then we're going to start and have conversations with our ambassadors. Are you ready, Mr. Parker?
I am ready to go.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Water Gun Song by Idris Goodwin.
Are you listening?
Uh-huh.
You just press this button and it goes off like whoosh, just by pressing a button. Cindy has the best toys.
Oh, that's great, Sam.
Yeah, it's so awesome. And that's not all. That's not all.
No?
They have a dog, a cat, and an iguana. Can you believe it?
And an iguana.
Yup. His name is Ivan. Ivan Iguana. And guess what the cat's name is?
Oh, that's real nice.
Are you listening?
Oh, I am. I'm listening.
I asked if you could guess the cat's name and you said, that's real nice.
I misunderstood you. I'm listening. See? I put my phone down.
The cat's name. Guess.
What's the cat's name?
Try and guess.
Furball?
No.
Well...
Obama.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's so cute.
Because his fur is half black and half white.
I'm sorry, what?
Part of his fur is black and some is...
Sure, I get it.
It's so much fun at Cindy's house.
How are Cindy's parents towards you?
What do you mean?
I mean, how do they treat you?
What do you mean?
Are they nice to you?
Of course they're nice to me.
Do they ever say anything that makes you feel uncomfortable?
No, Cindy's my friend.
Because you would tell me if they do. As a matter of fact, I need you to tell me if they do.
It's okay. We just have fun. Hey, you know what else?
What else?
We had this huge water fight.
Oh, yeah?
Cindy's mom filled this bucket with water balloons and buckets, and you know what else?
What else? What else?
Oh, nothing.
Oh, you got me curious. Now tell me, what else?
Nothing.
Water guns? Water guns, Sam? Hey, it's okay. I'm not mad.
You're not?
When you go to someone else's house, it's fine.
It was so much fun.
Yeah?
Cindy has this one that shoots water so far.
Well, Cindy knows when she comes here, we don't do that, right?
I told her that. I told her and her mom and her dad.
And what did they say?
They didn't say anything.
Nothing.
Nope. Just did like this.
And what did you say?
I said, we can't play water guns in my house.
And did you say why?
No.
You have to say why, Sam.
I don't know why.
Of course you do.
I don't know why.
Come on, Sam. We talked about this.
But I don't understand. Water guns are plastic and colorful, and it's just water, and it's not for real.
It's a gun.
For water. There are guns that light up and make noise. Guns that are like space alien guns.
You remember when it was our days to take a snack to the whole class? And how we made sure we got something everybody could eat, right?
Yeah.
Why did we do that?
Because some kids couldn't have dairy or gluten or meat.
We did it to be considerate of other people's allergies. You know what happens when people's allergies act up, right?
They don't feel good?
Right. They don't feel good. They get sick. Well, guns make me feel a little bit sick. Even if it's a toy gun. If it has a barrel and a trigger, I have a reaction.
What kind?
You know how sometimes at night you have bad dreams?
Yeah?
Well, sometimes I have them in the daytime when I'm awake. When I think about you with guns, even if it's a toy, I have quick bad dreams in my head.
What kind?
Something happens when guns are in the hands of children, especially little brown children like you.
What happens to them?
Sometimes adults can't tell the difference from a gun being a toy and being real, even if you're playing. They're not in on the game.
Oh. I have an idea.
What's your idea?
Just to let everyone know we're just playing, we can sing a song.
What kind of song?
The water gun song.
Okay, how does the water gun song go?
Water gun, it's so fun, it's so fun. Sing it with me, sing it with me. Water gun, it's so fun, it's so fun. It's just a game, it's not real, it's just pretend, it's not real.
It's just a game, it's not real, it's just pretend, it's not real.
How about that? Maybe that would help.
Either way, I like it.
Whenever you get the bad dreams, you can sing that song.
Okay.
Hey, you know what else?
Hey, you know, Obama, the person, not the cat, is more than just his colors, right?
Of course.
Okay, just making sure.
How about nunchucks? Can I have nunchucks in the house?
We'll talk about it.
Oh, hey, you know what else?
Oh.
So now that we've watched it, Payton, would you join me? We're going to pull up another poll question. Again, most of you have already seen this and had your own thoughts. Watching it again, I don't know if you had different thoughts, but we're going to put up another poll question.
So the poll question is, the act of young Black boys playing with toy guns makes me feel frightened beyond words, angry that they can't just play like other kids, sad for the mother of a young Black boy who has to even worry about this, or no different than any other kid playing with such a toy. So that question is now live in the poll.
So everyone submit your answer. And again, if you have something that you'd like to address, put it in the Q&A section. We'll give you about 5 more seconds. All right, Steve, if you think we've got the majority of answers, can you show us? Frightened beyond words, angry. It looks like it was a very tight race between those middle two. Angry that they can't play like other kids and sad for the mother of a young Black boy who even has to worry about this. Yeah. So let us, as I click off, I think it's time to bring our guest on. I'm very excited. So ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to an extraordinary group of young people. Could my ambassadors turn on their cameras, please? There they are. These are the Dallas Children's Theater's social justice ambassadors. We had a nice, wonderful conversation with them earlier about why they wanted to be here and what they wanted to share with us. And I think that as young people, they have voices that we need to hear. And I am looking forward to having this conversation with them. So, as I turn off my, and I go to view so I can see everyone. There we go. I want to see you. All right. Hey, folks, how you doing? Okay, so what I want to do is let's start with just initial responses. I know some of you had already seen it, but seeing it again today, who wants to start with and share with just an initial thought about it? How about Jude? Would you?
Sure. Yeah, I think it's definitely worrisome, right? And it allows like white men to walk around with like fully loaded rifles that African American boys can't play with toy guns. I think that's definitely an awful state of the nation, right? That people can walk around and protest with fully loaded rifles, but young boys can't play with toy guns in public without the fear of being mistaken for a threat. I think that's an awful thing.
Yeah, thank you. Anybody else want to share something? Desmond?
I think the mom kind of overreacted about it. But I do get where she's coming from on how like some people have like young Black people have died because cops or just other people have thought of a toy gun as a real gun and can't tell the difference between it.
Okay, thank you, Desmond. Anybody else want to share with us on that? Or have any comment about what you've heard so far? How about you, Jesse?
I agree with Jude. I feel, and I also feel like it's very unfair that, like, at a birthday party, if everyone's playing in the front yard, and someone just walks by, like, they could just start screaming at a few little kids when everyone else has the exact same toy in their hands, but they're just targeting those few little kids who are Black or African American or Hispanic even.
Thank you, Jesse. Esau, would you share with us a little perspective? Ladies and gentlemen, Esau was the young man with Sam in the play. Could you give us just some insight from your perspective in playing that character?
Yeah, when I read the script, I was like, man, I know that somewhere someone has had this real dialogue with their child. And that really broke my heart. And like, I couldn't imagine being that young and not understanding why the rest of the world is going so crazy about me playing water guns with my friends. It was so heartbreaking to me. And I was like, I want to do this justice, because this is an issue I think is serious, mainly because this could happen to me at any point. If I went outside to have a pool party with my friends, this could have happened to me. And if it does, I want to make sure I've done something to show people that this is a serious issue that we need to handle.
Okay. Thank you for that. Anybody else have anything to share before Payton goes to our next question?
All right. So I'm going to piggyback on something that Desmond said, but I'm going to ask some other people to answer. So Desmond's already kind of led us and said that he thought, in his opinion, that the mom in the play was a bit unreasonable. Maybe she was tripping a little too much. So what are you all's thoughts on, was the mom's reaction reasonable? Was she fair, or do you think it was kind of overblown? Amari, would you mind sharing your thoughts on that?
I think she had a reasonable reaction to the situation. You see it everywhere on the news, happening every day, and you never know if your child is next. I feel like maybe if she really talked to Sam more about why she didn't really like water guns, maybe he could understand a little better as well.
Thank you for that insight. Jace, what do you think?
I can really see where her reaction was coming from, but I also think she overreacted just a little bit by not letting Sam even touch a water gun while he's at his own home. Like that, if I were Sam, it would give me a sense that I was not safe even in my own house.
That's a good point. Let me see, who should I ask? Isabella, what were your thoughts just on the play and on the mom's reaction?
I definitely felt angry and how that is so unfair, and how colored kids can't play equally like white kids, and I think that's so just wrong. And I feel like the mother's reaction was definitely reasonable. I definitely think it was reasonable for a mother who has a child and she's worried, that incident might actually happen, because it does happen. And that's just reality. And I feel like I honestly feel like she didn't exaggerate at all. I feel like it was just her being a mother and having a son, knowing that can happen.
Now, I want to throw them a curveball. Payton, you ready? So in the play, we noticed that, he was talking to his mom and she was on the phone and half listening sometime. And then also she said, we talked about this, Esau. And he said, no, we didn't. So maybe he wasn't quite listening. Do you ever feel like adults, not your parents necessarily, but maybe adults don't hear you? Or do you feel sometimes you allow what they say to go over your head?
Let's start with Mackenzie on that one.
I can think that we do a little bit of both. Sometimes I think that when our parents are talking to us, or just different adults are talking to us, it's like they're preaching at us and not trying to hold a conversation with us, just have actual dialogue with each other. But I do feel like sometimes that we can tune out things that need to be heard, but then it could be due to maturity or just not being personally affected by something or coming in contact with that. So that may be an issue with some things of like, Esau was like, oh, I don't remember. And she was like, no, we talked about this. And it may have just been because it wasn't on the first of his mind because she never like, I guess, dilated it, like brought it that dense, like made it seem like, okay, this is exactly what it is. This is why you cannot do that. Maybe she brought it down. She simmered down the conversation a little bit. She probably watered it down a little bit more to where he could understand it. It could click.
Okay, that's good.
What about Kylie? Let's get another, I guess, an older youth perspective on that.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes adults can just kind of let what a child says just go right by them, because sometimes people will look as kids as their age, like, oh, he's just 12, he's probably just talking. But you know, kids have voices too. I feel like every voice needs to be heard.
Okay.
Wonderful.
What about okay, so we heard from some of our older youth. What about Dallas and Aria? How do you feel as younger youth, younger kids? Do you feel adults are listening to your voice?
Most of the time they will, but like Kali said, sometimes they'll just be looking at like social media and just forget what you say, and like what Yusal was doing in the play, and he was like, did you hear me? And the parent has to clarify that they were by putting their phone down, as that's a major distraction.
What do you think are ways that we could remedy that? How can we, you know, as families, do you feel it's comfortable sometime, maybe, you know, to talk about subjects like race? How do you think you can help your parents know that it's comfortable to talk to you about those things?
Just let them know, like, it's okay to have more information on more mature subjects.
Okay.
Like in the play, he was like, we didn't discuss this. Maybe he wasn't listening, or he just fully didn't understand the whole problem on why he can't have a water gun.
What about you, Dallas? We haven't heard from you yet. You can share about anything, your thoughts on the play or the question that's up right now about what do you think you can do to help your parents or other adults engage with you in these types of conversations? Might be a little shy.
Oh, there he goes.
The mom in the play has the same rules that my mom does.
Wow. So when you watched that, how did you connect with that?
It's kind of like my life.
Thanks. Okay. So you were able to really resonate with Esau or with his character in the play.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have a different question you wanted to lift up, or did we want to take it somewhere else?
I was going to see if Jason we hadn't heard from Jason. I think, is that the only person that we haven't heard from on this? Jason, do you have anything you want to share in regards to that?
Well, I just think it's we could help adults really hear us sometimes by just letting them know that we are here, and a lot like what Mackenzie said, like they can't just like preach it to us. They have to really hold a conversation with us and let us share our thoughts and feelings on the matter.
Okay. Wonderful. Y'all.
Go ahead, Jesse.
Voices. And don't forget, if you all have questions for these young people, you can put them in anonymously if you want, but be sure to put them in the question and answer. I'm telling you, you all are enlightening some adults today. I'm looking at some of the comments. They haven't asked any questions, but you are enlightening so many of the adults out there today. Let me ask you this. What will you remember most?
Go ahead, Jesse.
I will definitely remember Esau's face when his mom told him about her day nightmares, and his realization, like, oh, this is a real thing. I didn't even realize this. And I know I have friends who they've obviously had these talks with their parents, because I used to have a lot of birthday parties where they're pool parties, and I would have them walk up to me and just say, "Will there be water guns?" Like, that's the whole conversation. And we don't really have water guns in our house, so I would just say, "No, we're just gonna be swimming and having fun."
Well, I want us to, I saw a comment, and I do want us to make sure that we're not just asking questions and you all are answering. I want us to engage in a conversation. And I think a great follow-up question outside of the adults, you know, how do you get adults to listen, but how do you interact with your peers? Because all of us have different thoughts and opinions. And when you have possibly been faced with a friend or someone at school who may not think like you, how do you navigate that situation? And anyone can answer this. Go ahead, Mackenzie.
I would say like the first thing that you'd have to do, like in order to engage in a conversation with someone who may not have the same views as you have to start off with like a common ground of respect. Like you both have to respect each other's views and you both have to respect what each other is saying, because when you start off with the level of respect, then it's more of a conversation and not an argument, because you don't feel like you have to like fight for what you're trying to say. It's just as if I'm telling you how I feel, you can tell me how you feel, and then we can come to a common ground, kind of, sort of, and we can like find like a happy medium between what you have, what are your thoughts, and what are my thoughts. So I think the first thing that you have to have is a common level of respect for each other, a respect for your friendship, or respect for what your relationship might be with that other person.
Anybody? Go ahead, Desmond. I see you. Go ahead.
On that subject, like if I see somebody getting bullied or something, I can't just sit there and watch them. To be honest, my first thought is to go help them. I don't think about telling a teacher or an adult. I just go help them. And I get in trouble for that because my mom's like, not every situation is yours, but in my opinion, I can't sit back and just watch somebody get hurt or something.
Wow.
There was a great question here. Let me get down to, does anybody think the play did not take the issue seriously enough? Do you think it was addressed in, you know, enough to make it a series, or do you think it should have been emphasized more? Maybe Amari, do you have any thoughts on that?
I think it was addressed pretty well. At least enough for like kids to really understand what the message was in the play.
Mm-hmm.
If they made it more in depth, or like maybe over kids' heads, then kids wouldn't really understand it.
Mm-hmm. There was another question. By a show of hands, how many of you had heard of Tamir Rice?
I think my dad had to tell me about it.
Okay. Have any of you been afraid yourself? I mean, we talk about the guy in the play. Are any of you afraid of some of the issues that we've talked about tonight? Is there a fear for yourself or for friends of yours? And Payton, if you can see them better than I can, call if you see anybody with a...
Yeah, sometimes.
Are you?
Let's try and get someone like Jude or
Yes, ma'am.
I personally am not all that fearful because, you know, I'm a white guy, but definitely for my friends, because I definitely worry about their actions being somewhat misconstrued and them getting hurt because of it. Like I say, I'm lucky enough to do not have to sort of, I guess, fear for my own safety, but I do fear for the safety of some of my friends and colleagues.
Thank you for that.
Can I ask one more question?
Sure, and then we're going to, after that, we'll probably start wrapping up. I know we could do this forever and enjoying listening to you. So go ahead, Payton.
So my last question is, I know that tonight we're having this conversation with some adult facilitation, and this was a question that was asked from the participants. But do you all feel that without adults, that your peers, you all would be able to have a conversation about race, about issues like this? And I mean, do you think you need adults for that? I'm seeing a no. Isabella, what do you think?
I definitely feel like adults might not always take kids seriously to what they're saying, but I feel like that's just an opinion. But I definitely feel like sometimes they think, oh, these kids are just jokers. Like they're not taking it seriously. Like they don't know about this. And I feel like it's very, I feel like it's, I feel like definitely kids are more likely to be showed as someone who doesn't understand actual issues in the world like this when, you know, it's portrayed in news and it's portrayed in stuff that, you know, kids might witness in like school or stuff like that. And I definitely feel like we would have to have adults so that they know that we're not joking.
Well, I know that we did not get to nearly all of the questions or comments in the question and answer, and I apologize for that. But I want to say how much I appreciate each of you for your honesty, how much I appreciate you for speaking up and amplifying your voice to let us know. I think that there are a lot of adults out there that heard you tonight, and hopefully this is the first of many conversations that we will have, and hopefully we can build on this to be able to include a lot more young people, because we need to hear your voice. So I thank you. I know that you can't hear the thunderous applause coming from the millions of people in the audience, but I know that they appreciate you and everything that you had to offer today. So I thank you, thank you, thank you, our ambassadors. Ladies and gentlemen, these are our youth ambassadors. Thank you so much, and we will see you all next time. What I want to do right now is let people know that this is just the beginning. If you have not had conversations with your young people or young people that you know, these plays are a way that you can initiate or at least start. The three plays we produced, Mr. Goodwin gave us, were directed at 3 different age groups. And so there is Water Gun Song, there's Nothing Rhymes with Juneteenth, and then there's another one called #Matters. All of these plays are available on the Dallas Children's Theater website at DCT.org. If you're interested also in having a group and facilitating a conversation with young people, we encourage you to go on the website and pull the information. It's all there for you. If you're needing someone to come in to help facilitate or moderate those conversations, there's also information on how you can reach us, and we'd be more than happy to help you do that. What I want to do is give you just a little taste of the second play in the series. If you haven't seen all 3 and you just saw Water Gun Song, I want you to see just a little bit. We're going to show you a clip of Nothing Rhymes with Juneteenth. Okay.
Hey, what rhymes with Juneteenth?
Oh, I'm not sure. That's a hard one. Juneteenth, Juneteenth, Juneteenth.
I've been sitting here blank for 10 minutes.
What are you doing?
It's for school. We're supposed to be presenting about our favorite holiday.
I thought your favorite was Halloween.
It is Halloween.
So why are you asking me how to rhyme Juneteenth?
Because this year for Halloween, I want to be one of the liberation soldiers in 1865 who went down to Galveston and delivered the news that enslaved people were free. Did you know that took 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation?
Wow.
I love soldiers, but I thought it would be cool to be one of the soldiers who actually went down to Galveston and delivered the good news to hundreds of enslaved people.
So your report is not about Halloween.
The report is, but the rap is about Juneteenth.
Your report is about Halloween and your rap is about Juneteenth.
Exactly. Every kid knows about Halloween, but not everybody knows about Juneteenth. So putting it in a rap would just make sense, right?
Yes, it does.
Okay, I just need to think of a rhyme. So pretend I'm in my Liberation Soldier uniform.
Oh my gosh, you look amazing.
Thank you. You all know the story. Divided states, civil wars, bullets and hate, brother versus brother, slave versus master, a bloody chapter of American disaster. Lincoln had a plan to free every man, woman and girl enslaved in the land. The South said, wait, that's not your call. The war wasn't over, the news got stalled. 2 years after emancipation, Black people were enslaved.
So that's just a small clip from Nothing Rhymes with Juneteenth. I hope you will go to the website and check out the whole play. We have been very honored to be able to produce these plays. Being in a pandemic, everyone was trying to find a way to keep the arts alive and at the same time find a way to send out the messages that we all need to hear. And the Dallas Children's Theater has been able to do that. And I'm so grateful that they were able to provide this opportunity and to provide it for free to so many people who wanted to be able to view these with their young people. Right now, I want to thank all of our ambassadors and shout out to moms and dads who got all their kids together and sent them and shared them with us tonight. I applaud you. I also want to applaud my friend, Reverend Payton Parker, and thank you so much for helping me to moderate tonight and to be here with these young people. I know that young people hold a special place in your heart. You want to give a final comment before I make this next introduction?
Yes, just again, want to thank all our ambassadors and to thank the parents and the villages that have helped to shape them and mold them. And I look forward to their continued matriculation.
Thank you, Payton. We will see you again real soon. Thank you. This next young lady needs no introduction. I am very, very proud to work alongside her on this project. She's the visionary, she's the idealist, and I am very honored to share this space with her and to hopefully walk this journey on social justice. Welcome, Robin Flatt.
Thank you. Thank you, Janice. Wow. Well, it is such a joy for me to work with you because you are an inspiration. And this all, it's so fabulous to have the opportunity to have a group of people who are passionate about the same subject and to try to all be moving in the same direction. And this is, I think, this project, this initiative is so vital right now at this point in our time of history. And, you know, I'm just so honored that we would have already developed such a marvelous team of people who really believe in it and understand the vital importance. And most of all, that we've been able in such a short time to reach out and gather such a dynamic group of young people. I mean, they're so very different each from each other, and they're so beautiful. And yes, I'm responding. So I do want to thank the Dallas Children's Theater Board that's allowed us to do this kind of work, that's supported enthusiastically and in person. It's been fabulous. And our staff, I'm so proud of the DCT staff. So many, it's taken quite a few people to make all of this happen. I certainly want to thank Denise, our social justice strategist, and Reverend Parker. It's fabulous. I'm delighted. It's been such fun to get to know him. And of course, our co-chairs have been absolute, just have knocked it out of the park. They've found people, they brought them in, they've really just instinctively understood where we were trying to go, where we are trying to go. So Tamar Howard and Stephanie Jeffrey, thank you so very much. And of course, today wouldn't have happened without Coy Covington and Sandra Session Robinson for pulling all the details and the pieces together and moving us from one moment to the next. And the partners, I am just overwhelmed that in this short amount of time, with COVID raging and with so much distraction, and with the weather, which absolutely kind of slammed us for 3 weeks, we've still been able to pull together such a marvelous starting point with partners. But I want to say starting point. We want many more partners. The door is wide open. We would love to have, just speak up and let us know, and we'll make time to talk with you. What we want you to do as a partner is to take these wonderful plays, just choose one of them, choose a group of kids, and just show the piece and then talk about it. And on our website, there's questions for facilitators. If you want to lead a discussion and don't feel comfortable, we can also help you. Denise and some of our other friends have some people lined up that are fabulous facilitators. So it's all laid out there. Just be brave and step forward and join us. We would love it. And thank you so very much, Denise.
Thank you so much, Robin. We appreciate you being here and sharing all of that with us. What we have has come to the end of our program. I want to thank so many of them. Robin, you need to say
I just forgot to say something. I forgot to say that.
I was going to bring you back.
This is going on. This is not the end. All of this is continuing. Plus, at the end of April, on April 29th, please mark that down, we have 10 Seconds, a brand new show. It's never even been seen yet. We are going to stream it with our friends from the Imagination Stage in Washington, D.C. And there'll be a show and a talk back. I would say it's probably plays a little older than what we had tonight, but it's going to be a powerful piece that our friends at the Imagination Stage took 2 or 3 years to develop this piece. And the playwright, Miriam Gonzalez, has done a fantastic job. Brand new script, powerful piece. We've got lots more to talk about. So don't forget us, join us April 29th and in between and onwards and onwards. Thank you again. My job, I almost forgot.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Robin. Again, we thank everybody who joined us, the people who are watching and again supporting. So often we see the dark at the end of the tunnel, but I think the young people we had today showed us that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and you don't have to have children to nurture them, to encourage their voices. It takes all of us, as Payton said a minute ago, thanks to all the villages, because all of us have to get involved. And I do believe that there are more of us who want to see a better world, and by including our children, we will get there. Again, we thank you for joining us. We hope you'll come back and join us for 10 seconds and check out all of the program at dct.org. And we'll see you next time.